All right, Nathan, let's take a look at your golf swing here from when we worked just the other day. I've got that up here on the right-hand side, and then on the left, I've got the first video that you sent me. So kind of just got your foundation walls at address on both pictures drawn. And we're just going to look at a couple spots that we kind of worked on and that we mentioned in this video and then moving forward. So you can see here in this, the old swing, this is at position 2, so where the club's parallel to the ground. You have a club face that is starting to work probably someplace right in there. It's kind of blurry, but kind of working towards toe up, which I know is kind of what everybody kind of says is what was being taught, but what we would like to see it to be more to the spine plane, where you were at address. So if we go to what we worked on, we just kind of worked on stabling that hand a little bit, so you can see your right wrist is kind of working more into extension a little bit. And you can see here now how that's pretty close to matching that spine angle right there. And how you're more within your foundation wall here, turn it inside, where you can already see on this one, the old swing, you're kind of starting to stand up a little bit. Left arm's working across your chest. In fact, your right elbow's already starting to break down because your left arm's working across you so much to where the new motion, we don't see that as much. Then from there, we're just going to kind of keep it working up to the top. So you feel like you kind of got the club a little long and stuff. So what we want to look at here at the top is majority of good players have the club at the top, the butt end, right over the right heel. So you can see here on yours, it's 3 inches or so behind your right heel, much less your ankle, which is where theirs is. So quite a bit difference in deepness. And then on the new one, so we're still getting a little bit long, and we're still seeing that same issue just a little bit, but not quite as much, because you can see here how you can see some of your hip joint and stuff on this one, where this one you can't, so you're further behind with the old motion versus the new one. Also, you can see here how much you stood up. Your new foundation wall with the old motion went more vertical like this, where this one you're maybe more right there a little bit. So just a tiny bit stand up. So you're better with key number 1, the steady head, and the hands are in a little better position at the top than they were before. So a lot of good improvements there with what we were working on, and we saw the improvement with the ball flight as well. Another thing we can look at here is the wrist angle. So if we draw the angle kind of going down and down, at right it was 151, and now you can see 133. So you're quite a bit more bent back than you were before. So much better at the top as well. So good changes in both spots. We'd still like to see your hands up here at this top. I would like to see the butt end of the club somewhere right in that area. It can be as high as you've got it, but I'd like to see it right here. But what I'd ideally like to see is your butt end right there, just slightly above your shoulder. I know we worked on tucking that elbow in just a little bit, and that's something that's what we can work on a little bit more, because you got such long arms. You might have to get away and have an angle in that right arm a little bit and have it be kind of more like Fred Couples out here. Elbow out with a cocked wrist to kind of push the hands up over your ankle just a little bit more. But that's something we can work on as we move forward a little bit more. You could also get just a titch more hip turn, which might keep the hands just a little bit more in front. But all in all, much better there at position 2. Little bit of improvement up there at position 4. But what we can see here is you can see this club going more vertical in the old swing. Hands kind of working straight down. The club's getting steeper. And at this position right here, you can see your club's pointing off to the left over here. And typically that's where the club's going to exit, kind of swing, shoot out in front of you a little bit too much. And then we'd get pulls and those thin cuts that you kind of get sometimes. And we saw those once we got to the long irons. You started to get some of those with the long irons, where you can see now at this motion, look at your handle. It's working more towards the golf ball. The club isn't getting as steep, starting to flatten out, and hands level to the ground. You're here, so pointing pretty much at the same angle, but look at the difference where the club is. This one's way back here. This one is more vertical up in that direction is where that club is, where this one's down more towards your hand. So this one's going to have a little bit more right action to it. You can still see slightly coming from the outside just a little bit, but not bad at all, where this one's a lot more and exiting further left. Yeah, see how much more that club stays in front of you. Face isn't rolled over as much. You're more in your foundation wall here. Still stood up a little bit on in the old motion. So that's why we were getting a lot of straight ones. We were getting some pulls, but it was tough to really tell with the darkness and everything to pick good targets. But we can still work on getting that club a little bit flatter and getting it coming down more to the right. But all in all, I mean, that's way better. The sound of it was better because that's on a more steady path, and your key number 1 is way better with the steady head. So a lot of good stuff going on there, a lot of good improvement. You can see there how you're kind of falling back. Yeah, look how much more stable that release is on this one too. So lots of good stuff going on there. Good work. Keep working on those wrist angles and do some mirror work and work on putting that butt end over an ankle joint. So a good thing you could do is kind of stand in the doorway, put your right ankle up against the door frame, and then make some backswings without a club or choking way down on the club, and get your hands so that they touch that door frame as well when you get to the top. So that'd be the same position as what you were, all the good players have. It's right over the ankle joint at the top. So keep working on it. A lot of good things going on and a lot of improvements. So if you keep working on those little bitty things, doing some of those rehearsals, it'll just keep getting better, and a lot of good golf will be in front of you.